We're common loaded for bear. What up, gang? I'm just kidding. I'm out here in the garage. Wanted to go over some tech stuff with you guys. This might be a great video. It's hot. It's not that hot, but the humidity is not Oregon-like, and I'm not having fun. But carry on. Here we go. Wastegates, blow-off valves. Let's get it. All right, this might be a little obvious, but we're going to go through some things here. So, header, wastegate, path least resistance, right? The wastegate, I run 5-pound springs. Why is this spring in a bag? We'll get to that. I run a 5-pound spring in here, and this thing gets CO2 and pressure off the turbo and opens and closes to maintain boost. To maintain boost, that turbo speeds up and slows down, at the launch RPM. So let's say that I'm commanding 12 pounds of boost while I'm on the two-step. This thing is open and closing. This thing is speeding up and slowing down to maintain the boost in there. Now, everyone's done some trick stuff with the E-gates. Don't mind the welding, boys. We got repair stuff. Let's go over here where this is pretty. Anyway, these are my blow-off valves. As when you let off the gas, and let's say there's 20 pounds of boost in this pipe, the manifold vacuum turns from pressure to vacuum and allows this to open and bleed off the boost that's in the pipe. As your throttle blade closes, boost might keep that thing open or surge and go back to the turbo. So this kind of protects everything. These are a safety device and you got to have them. So the E-gate, guys basically get rid of their wastegates and they allow their turbos to go full wick all the time, and then they bleed off the intake charge. I had a line come loose and lost. I mean, with this line loose, this thing wouldn't make more than 20 pounds of boost. It just was stuck. So I've schemed on this for a while, long enough that I ordered some big springs. I ordered some big wastegate springs because I can plumb one of these with CO2, and let's say I want 20 pounds of boost. 20 pounds of pressure will come through here to my Mac valves, and there's a spring in here, right? So let's just say that there's 15 here and 5 on the spring, and as soon as 20 pounds happens in the intake pipe, it'll push this open and allow that to bleed. Meanwhile, if I didn't have wastegates, these turbos would be at full wick, and at 20 pounds of boost, this is just open, bleeding off boost. But E-gates make me nervous. They don't work well with a Holley yet. So this is a little obvious, but we're doing some ghetto stuff with the safety because I don't like hurting stuff. So I hurt stuff a lot, but I don't like it. So I'm taking a 5-pound spring out and hopefully putting a 15-pound spring in there. So 5-pound spring and a 15-pound spring. I have a 10-pound differential here. So if this gets the same CO2 line, did some ghetto fabulous stuff, tapped into my CO2, this in theory should never open, but it is a safety at 10 pounds difference. So if I'm asking for 20 pounds of boost, I'll get plus my 5, I'll get 25 in the intake, and this will open, and it would take 35 to open that. So this should be pinned shut, and we're at a point where we need to make more boost faster. So I'm gonna try this, and it's a couple of lines, and I put it right back to where it was. So we still got one blow-off valve being the safety. These are 60 millimeter, and these 60 millimeters hopefully will never open. I can spool test this with no CO2 and test my theory here and see what my data log says. And also a little tech tip here. Instead of wasting CO2 in the shop looking for leaks, I like to plug this in after I mess with this stuff and make sure that it's not leaking or coming apart, because it's hard to hear if the engine's on. And it's just good. So I don't know if the springs are really 15-pound springs. They don't really rate them by anything, and JGS makes great products, but they don't have a lot of tech stuff about the springs. So anyway, tech tip with Gabe. I think this will be cool. It's nothing new. I'm not the inventor of anything, but I think this could be like a cheater E-gate setup. Not all blow-off valves can do that, but these can. Oh, we'll see. I'm waiting on push rods. I also fixed my spark plug tubes. I used JB Weld to put that in back on there, and checked all of my other ones. And we got the different heads on here. Injectors were cleaned in one day and shipped back to me by Kyle. And thanks, homie. And that was in Oklahoma. So literally, I didn't even know he received them, and they're back in the mail. So I also figured out that there is a restriction in this Peterson Chevy pump setup. So got a Clearview on the way with their new primer, and Mike over there at Clearview is awesome. So stand by, hopefully be hitting the track here soon. Again, thanks for following along. All right, smash that like button and subscribe.